Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And damn, you look good today. Wow. Could you please hit that like button for me? That would be awesome too. Yeah, blah blah blah. I have to say that sometimes because I don't get the amount of likes that I would like. So today we're gonna be firmware updating the awesome Lenovo SR650, and I'm gonna be doing that using the Lenovo Xclarity Administrator that I installed last week in a video, and which is now running on Proxmox. It's running on this box right up here, and yeah, it works really well up there, except I don't have the amount of RAM that I would really like in there. I do have 48 gigabytes of RAM in there, but like the editing server for editing these videos, that uses like 28 gigabytes just by itself, so there's much left over to mess with anything else. But yeah, we're gonna do that in the living room. So here we are at the computer, and I am not gonna let you see me that big for that long, so let's go to the screen. And I have my Proxmox. This is on the tiny little TerraMaster NAS that is living in the data center, and I have had to shut down my editing server here because it eats up all the RAM. And I did get some good suggestions on my last video. If we go here and see the overall, here I'm almost not using any RAM, but it's still using like 28 gigabytes of RAM. And if we see on the machines, there's pfSense, and that is only using like 772 megabytes, and there is Home Assistant that is using 2.5 megabytes, and there is this Lenovo Xclarity Administrator which is using 3.24 gigabytes, so that does not come to 28 gigabytes. And someone suggested that it might be the buffer for the ZFS drive. Might be. I don't know enough about it, so a bit irritating that it's clocking up that much RAM. If we go back and look at that, see it using all of that. It's somewhere. I do see that there's a new version of Proxmox. They have released version 9 now, and in that you can actually see how much RAM is used by the ZFS caching thingy. So never mind. I turned on Lenovo Xclarity Administrator and I turned off my editing server to have enough RAM because I want to firmware update my server out there. And this is where video editing is very cool, because I spend a lot of time messing with that. So first, yeah, someone hadn't put a cable in the IMM manager of the server. So that was fixed. So now I do have access to the server out there. And then also someone hadn't configured the port of the switch to be in the right network. So now I put it in the right network down here. So yeah, I had a little bit of maintenance to do to prepare for this video. When watching the videos, you wouldn't know, right? But nevertheless, this is the XClarity controller. That is the XClarity that is located on the individual server. So if you have a lot of Lenovo servers, every one of them will have an XClarity controller. They call it the XCC now. It's actually not the IMM anymore. That's me forgetting that they changed the name again. So this is the XClarity controller, and this is the Lenovo Xclarity Administrator. And the administrator is like a build on top. So this is the piece of software. If you have 200 of these Lenovo servers, you don't want to firmware update them individually. Well, you can. It's still a good idea when you're doing the first ones to do one at a time and make sure that everything is good. But if you have enough servers, you do not want to go into each XCC management, the XClarity controller, and do anything manually there. So what you can do is you can import your servers into this tool, and you can import like a batch of them. So if you have 100 servers and they have 100 IP numbers, you can tell the Lenovo Xclarity Administrator, I have these 100 servers on these 100 IPs with these passwords, import. So that is what we're gonna do here. We're gonna import our server first, and then I'm gonna make sure that the XClarity Administrator is up to date, and then we're gonna see if we can get in some firmware updates. So let's go hardware first. There's nothing in here. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You see that? Hardware, discover and maintain new device. Check. So here we can import our new server. Should we make this bigger? I might help you a bit. There. Yeah, I forgot that in the last video. Now you can't see everything, but it's bigger. So we only have one server. So we're just gonna make a manual input. You can also do bulk input, and it can do different stuff there. Manual, and we'll just give it the. Oh, we can actually do multiple systems here. We're just gonna give it the IP number here. There we are. That's the IP number of my XCC on the awesome Lenovo SR650. So use services, discover, blah blah blah. Yes, okay. So it's gonna have a look at that, and it's gonna give me some more options. There. It actually sees the name of it, so that's cool. It also gives me different options to log into the IMM. So I can actually, if I have 100 servers that is configured with the same password, I can store the credentials in here. So we'll have a template. Maybe I have 100 servers and they are in stacks of 10, and each 10 has an individual password. So I could have team 1, team 2, team 3, and I can just, oh, this server is from team 5, and put that in, and it knows the username and the password for that. I'm just gonna put that in manually here, as I only have this one at the moment. I have actually not changed the password from the IBM original password thingy. I probably should. I haven't. Set new password. No. And then we have this one, force management, even if the system is being managed by another instance of. And that's a good idea for me, because I never threw this server out of the previous. I had the Lenovo Xclarity Administrator running on the VMware, and well, that is actually still on this server, but I'm not going to be running it on the VMware anymore. So I want to say that it can throw it out of that one and put it in this new one. So we want to do that, and then we'll go and say manage here, and it comes up with a security warning that, oh dear, the original IBM password from like 20 years old. Someone has that. Yeah, we are aware. So cool, it's working on it. Look at that progress bar. Let's hope that it keeps going to 100% happiness and joy, and it will import my awesome server into the Lenovo Xclarity Administrator here. Takes a little bit. So right now the server is off. I haven't actually turned it on. I don't know if it's gonna be whining about that, but I forget. If I need to just close this, and then all will be good. I think I'll give this a few seconds to see if this is kind of messed up. Why doesn't it come and say, you're good to go, you can close, or something? It's close. Blah blah blah. So now we should be able to go to our taskbar here, or dashboard, and we have one server, and it's not green. It should be up here if it was green. it's down there because it's off. So we can click on that and we can see it's pending. So it's not all the way there. It's still thinking about it. While it's pending and finalizing everything, we can go and make sure that our Lenovo Xclarity Administrator is fully up to date. And we do that over here under Administration and Update Management Server. That's us. There are some other ones if we want to shut it down or if we want to back it up, but we're just gonna update it here. And as this is brand new, well, we messed with it. Apparently I installed it on that date, but well, Lenovo could have put new firmware out. So let's update history. There's nothing. To see if there's something new, we press this button here and it will tell us that it's gonna upgrade the catalog, and it's gonna do that. This is a bit weird too. It doesn't actually just pop up by itself. It thinks about it, and if I don't actually have to stay here now, I can go back and see my dashboard here. And ooh, we have a problem with our server. It's probably just because it's down. Or what is it saying? No redundant from. Oh, that's the power supply. Yes, there is 2 power supplies in that server, and I pulled one of them out to save on power. So it's not happy about that. So never mind. That's fine. Might put that in at some point just to get that warning out of the way. Right now it's not important. So let's go back to the administrator here and see how this is going. I think it's still thinking about it. We don't have anything here. And we have our repository there. We have 50 gigabytes of usable data. That is an issue. If you have a very big installation, 50 gigabytes might not be enough. For me and my 1, 2, 3, 4 servers, I'm sure it's plenty. And if you have a lot of servers and they're not at the same firmware version, all of them, you could have like multiple firmware packages for each model laying around, just to be sure that if this thing crashes or have to be done something, you can put the same firmware on it that you had when it was working. And also you want to keep the firmware that is newer than that, because sometimes you're not able to go from a very old firmware to the very newest firmware. So you might have to jump into some holes in between. Let's try and update this and see if anything new. Oh, there we are. We have a new update date here. It's even downloaded a little bit. Megabytes. Oh, I didn't see that. That was megabytes, not gigabytes. Never mind. So we have some packages here. First of all, our Lenovo Xclarity Administrator is at this version 4.3. That is very new. I actually knew that was very new. So that is from the 14th of July 2025, and it is at the moment the latest and the greatest. So it's that one. But we also need to look at the firmware for the server. And there is different packages for the servers, so we don't. But we could just see which firmware I'm running, and that is on the. This is the XClarity controller on the server, and we can go on this firmware update, and it tells us here what firmware I have on this machine. I have the XCC, and that is at a 9.4. I have the, where is it? I have the UEFI, that is at 4.11, and we can clearly see that and someone hasn't been maintaining this server lately. So yeah, we need to find that server in here and see if we can firmware update that. And that is one of these packages here. There is switches, and there is storage, and there is think system, and this is definitely a think system. We just need to figure out if it's the one or the other think system. So okay, let's go. I'm gonna check this think system too and see the release notes on that. Okay, that is very helpful. Look at that. There is our server. This README file contains information about installation, blah 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 blah. This repository includes support for, and we have our server right there. So I think we're good to go with that one. So we mark that out here, and we download selected. Okay, so while that is downloaded, I went out to the data center and I plopped in that second power supply. In here in the XClarity controller, it's all happy and green. If we go over here, it's still pretty pissed at me. Oh, it's actually okay in here, so maybe... Oh, okay, so it did actually fix itself. Sometimes you have to go in here and pick the server, and over here on action, on the inventory, you can refresh your inventory and it will go and ask again how everything is doing. So yeah, just a little extra info there. Let's go see here and go back and see if it has downloaded my package. It has downloaded there. It's downloaded. It's a bit weird because it has downloaded it, but it has not applied it. So we want to apply it. So we have to select it here, and then we need to perform update. Yeah, and blah 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 blah. Does not need to restart. Blah blah blah. Start update. There, and that just throws the package into the mix and means that we can go and select it. And it is smart in the regard that if I have a server that is not supposed to be firmware updated with this stuff, I'm not able to pick it. So if I turn on my Model 5 out there, the older version, I would not be able to select this update in here. And so when it's done updating, we should be able to go up here in provisioning and repository, and we should be able to see it here. Right now it sees that we have installed one of these SR650s, and it knows that if we have one of those servers, we should probably have a repository for that. So yeah, it knows that probably something is coming here. We can update that. Is anything coming? Yeah, okay. So it actually just updated and see that we have 35 downloads for that machine now. And we can see the different things that is updatable in here. There is the XCC, the Wi-Fi, LXPM. I am not actually sure what that is, and there's a lot of other stuff. There's all sorts of adapters that can go into this server. All the stuff that Lenovo has certified for this server. There should be a driver. There is NVIDIA drivers, there is SAS controllers and SAS drives, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of stuff there. So we should be able to go... We can minimize that, and we can go into this provisioning again, and then we can apply and activate there. And now we should be able to see a policy here, and that is the version 4.2.4 2025 for this machine. So right now nothing is assigned. We can, when we have many of them, we can just pick the latest, but right now I think we should just pick that one, and it's gonna say that we are not compliant, and what it's saying is more or less that we don't have everything that is in this package, so it's nothing bad. So we can go and we can see the differences here. We can see the version that it has, and we can see the version that it's going to be installing. So the XCC is going to be upgraded from 8.80 to 9.98, and the UEFI and the, oh, that's the backup. I don't know if we can pick anything older. We can actually. We can pick that one. I like the primary XCC and the backup XCC to not be on the same version. So I'm gonna go with a slightly older one for this one, the backup XCC. But we're gonna update with a policy. So we're just gonna pick that, and we're gonna try and apply this package and see what happens. So pick that, and then we're gonna upgrade, perform update there, and it tells me that some blah 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 blah. If you select device included, these are yes. We get some more options here. So if there's an error, what to do? Continue on error, continue to next device on error. I've never had to mess with that. And here we can control when it's gonna do the update. And then there's forced update, install. I think we're gonna force the update. And that thing is okay, and perform update. So yeah, firmware update will start it on device, and we should be able to see the percentage. I think we need to make it a bit smaller again. Okay, 1%. And while it's doing this, the server will be rebooting multiple times, turning on and off. I will I'll get back to you as soon as I think we can expand this, and we can actually see what it's working on in here. Queued in progress. So it starts with the XCC, updating that, and it has found these devices in my server that is up for update. Okay, we have our first successes. We have the XCC has been updated, and we also have the LXPM diagnostic software has also been successfully updated there. And then there is some Linux drivers that it can put into the system, and there are some Windows drivers. As I'm planning to install Proxmox on this, I think the Linux drivers would probably be the one to go with. I have no idea how to use them or anything, but if I get the chance, I'm gonna put those on there and see what happens. Probably nothing, but yeah, you know. Okay, it's going rather well, 75% updated. Right now it's working on the network card. You can see that it's an Intel X722 LUM. I believe it's 2x10 gigabit, and that is in progress. So let's hope that goes good. And then there's only this solid state drive after that it says that it's gonna be upgrading as well. I have seen those fail quite a lot, so yeah, I'm a bit worried about that one. It's probably not that important, but yeah, still. You can clearly see that it is not updating every single. There were 35 different packages, and what is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 packages that it has chosen that, okay, this is worth our time. I am gonna go afterwards, and we're gonna try and update see if we can update this. It says that it's not supposed to update that, but that's just a choice. I'm sure there's a newer version of this, and we might do the XCC backup when we get to that. If everything else works, I'll do the backup here as well. Okay, it has actually successfully updated everything. I'm very happy with that. Right now it's rebooting a few times to make sure that everything is cool and good. But I'm expecting that it will come and say, oh, look at that, it turned green over here. Okay, now we got the completed thingy over there. So let's go back to this thingy and see. It's happy, and in here it's normal, and provisioning there. Oh, okay, that's a bit too much. So it says that it's not compliant. So we got some of it, at least, and let's do an update. Can we? Okay, by updating we got some more stuff here. Hard disk driver firmware, that did not go in, and those are not in. What if we? Oh, so I just needed to update this page and then it was compliant. I still want a firmware update, the backup, so we can do that without a policy. We can select the few things in here that we might wanna do. So we can do the backup. Let's not do the newest. Let's do this one. It's a little bit. It's a bit newer than the one we have, but it's not the latest. And let's do the this one as well. So we'll pick that one and that one, and we will do those two drivers as well. I don't know if we should. It seems like we can do the Windows drivers as well. Probably there's room for everything. So perform update, and we're just gonna do that, and I'll be back to you with the result. Woo! Another success! And I'm a bit. I've never tried this before. It actually did not have to turn on the server to update all of this. It's all part of the IMM. Oh, sorry, the XCC. It's all part of that. And yeah, the server has been off the whole time. So that's a new one for me. And it completed. So let's go back and see what it says about the server now. We might have to update the page for it to show us everything. This one is new and that one, but overall it's happy and compliant. So we have successfully updated the server for sure. Back in the data center, and that was a huge success. I cannot remember that I've ever had so little trouble using Lenovo Xclarity Administrator. Usually there's always something that messes with me, and this time it just worked. Amazing. And do remember that this Lenovo Xclarity Administrator, that is totally free. All the functions that I just showed you with firmware updating and downloading and whatever, yeah, you get that for free because you're a Lenovo user. It's not as if the other brands don't have something similar, but they don't have me to show you how to use it. Never mind. If you forgot to give the video a like at the start of the video, you have one more chance. If you hated my guts, you can remove that like. It's there somewhere. please don't. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.